Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to week 21 and 22. I do believe that's correct. Check-in. So my apologies that I didn't do a check-in last weekend. It was the holiday here in the United States. We had Labor Day on Monday, and just between getting kids ready to go back to school and obviously just trying to enjoy some time off with my family, time got away from me, and by the time I was going to have time to film it, it just didn't seem to make any sense. So here we are. So let's get into how the last 2 weeks have been. So before we get into the results of the last 2 weeks, I want to talk a little bit about the video that I did, which was basically the end of week 20 on this medication, or yes, 20 weeks of taking this. In that video, I talked about how I was a little concerned about my mental health during this whole thing, and how because I had gained 0.4 pounds, that was bothering me. And I realized, and I said this in response to a couple of comments, that I didn't really want to be in maintenance. And because I didn't really want to be in maintenance, that gaining of 0.4 pounds bothered me. Because I know that in maintenance, my weight is going to fluctuate, right? I know that, I would like to hope to keep it to sort of a 2-3 pound range as best I can without being fanatical about it and, OCD about it. So I know that the scale is going to go up sometimes, and then it's going to go down sometimes. Like I realize that in my logical brain, right? But I think, like I said, why it bothered me that I had gained 0.4 pounds while I was supposedly technically in maintenance, which, like I just said, shouldn't bother me. I realize it's because I don't really want to be in maintenance yet. I really would like to lose a little more weight. Now we're going to talk about something. I have a note here on my, cheat sheet so I get the numbers right. But I have a note here to talk about something. I saw a TikTok earlier today, and it really hit home for me when we talk about goals. So let me kind of talk about the last couple weeks, and then I'll talk about this other issue. But I think that is the reason why I was a little bothered by seeing the number on the scale go up. It's because I still want to be losing, and so that was in contradiction to losing weight. So anyway, also as an update, I did mention that I was going to join one of the mental health coaching sessions that Fridays Health has. If you are not familiar with my situation, I use Fridays Health as my telehealth provider, and I'm an advocate for them as well. The two are honestly completely unrelated. I was in the process of joining their telehealth membership before the advocacy thing even came up. But the reason why I joined was because exactly of this, is because they are more than just, we write you a prescription and send you on your way. They have mental health coaching sessions. They have dietary nutrition coaching sessions. They have fitness and movement as a part of their program. So I really feel like Fridays takes care of the whole patient and not just the medical, I'll write you a prescription and be done kind of thing. And so because Fridays has this opportunity to join these mental health coaching sessions, I was planning on doing that so I could talk about some of these things that I was experiencing. I think because I was technically in maintenance, I was feeling like I shouldn't be so focused still on weighing my food and tracking every bite and all that. And again, I think that goes back to that I was supposed to be in maintenance, but that in my brain and my true feelings were that I didn't want to be in maintenance yet. So unfortunately though, because of travel the week before, and then things just going on this past week, the 2 coaching session times each week fell when I was traveling, literally while I was on the plane both times. And then this past week, we actually had an advocacy call to talk about just things going on with Friday's Health. And I don't even remember what my other conflict was. But my point is unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to attend those sessions. It is still my goal to do so. I just need to make sure that, you know, it's a time that it fits in my schedule. So let's get into the numbers. Okay, so as I mentioned, I use Friday's Health as my telehealth provider. So that is where, like I said, I get my prescriptions filled. So I am on compounded TIRZEPATIDE. If you are interested, there are 2 days left when you see this video, today and tomorrow, where you can still save. It's essentially 50% or $50 off your first month of joining Friday's Health. So if you're interested and you have thought about, you know, going the telehealth route, like I said, I absolutely love Friday's Health. I think they're amazing. Like I said, I feel like they truly care about you as a person and not just as a number and writing you a prescription. Today or tomorrow would be a great time to do it because, like I said, it's the last 2 days. They did extend it for about a week after it was supposed to end on September 1st. So you'll have 2 more days through whatever, you know, midnight, September 8th. You can save $50 by using the code LISA. There's always a link in my description box that you can use to go, and then you fill out the forms and you can decide whether you want to actually have a meeting with a physician or asynchronous, whatever you want to do. But anyway, like I said, code LISA for $50 or half off your first month. But anyway, I take compounded TIRZEPATIDE and I was back down to 2.5. So again, if you're new, I only went up to 5 milligrams when I was in my weight loss phase, and we'll talk about that in a second. And so then I titrated back down to 2.5. I was experiencing a lot of food noise and like wanting to snack, and just a lot of that mental stuff came back. And so when I talked to my provider again, we decided that we might try titrating back up again and see how that works. So I did decide to like titrate up halfway. So I did a 3.75 shot last week, and then, or I guess technically 2 weeks ago. And then last week I took 5 milligrams again. And I will tell you that there was a huge difference in just my general experience of not feeling the hunger and not having cravings. And like I said, not thinking about food, not thinking, you know, at midnight, getting out of bed and getting something out of the pantry. So let's back up to week 21. Like I said, that week I did inject 3.75. I did that in my stomach. And at the end of that week, so, you know, a week or so ago when I weighed myself, I was flat. So flat from that being up 0.4. So I was 138 point, what was I? 138 point, I didn't write down my weights, guys, I'm sorry. It was 138.6. So I had originally was down to 138.2. I gained the 0.4 pounds. So I was up to 138.6. And then I remained flat. Now I will tell you, I did weigh myself 2 other times during that week, and I had lost the 0.4 pounds. So I think I went to 138.4, and then I went to back down to 138.2. And then, but on weigh-in day, I was back to 138.6 again. So for week 21, I was flat. So last Friday, for week 22, I took my first, technically my first, but you know what I mean, my first dose of 5 milligrams again. And I don't know, for me, guys, I just think that maybe 5 milligrams is kind of my sweet spot. And we'll see. I mean, I'm going to tell you the results, and some of you may disagree with me in the comments, but like I said, we'll see. This was 1 week, and it's honestly 1 week that's really maybe 3 weeks, or at least 2 weeks, since I was flat the week before. Anyway, let's get into it. So I took 5 milligrams in my stomach again on the other side, and I ended up losing, when I weighed myself today, 2.8 pounds. So I'm down to 135.8. So I am down a total of 48 pounds. So I feel like the 2.8 pounds, I realize it sounds like a lot, but because I gained 0.4 pounds 2 weeks ago and then stayed flat the week after, that, like I said, I think maybe you can kind of think about the 2.8 pounds over the course of a 3-week period, really, instead of that it was all in 1 week. I mean, I realize I lost it all in 1 week, and I will say I was extremely constipated last week. So, like, the week that I was traveling, I probably didn't have a bowel movement for 5 days. So I had backed off on my Mag-07, and I don't know if that was part of the issue. You know, I think traveling always kind of wreaks havoc with your system, but whatever it was, I was very uncomfortable. So when I got back from traveling, I obviously, increased. In fact, I think I even increased my Mag-07 when I traveled, and it still wasn't doing anything. So when I got home, I added back in some Miralax, and I don't remember what else I did, but I was really trying to, I think I was taking some gentle laxatives as well. So finally, I went. Again, not very fun. It was not a comfortable trip to the restroom, let's say that. But the good news is I got unblocked. So, maybe the fact that I was flat that week had to do with the fact that I was pretty constipated. And so then this week that kind of reflected that as well. I don't know. But my point is, I don't necessarily think that it was going up to 5 milligrams that caused me to lose 2.8 pounds. I think, like I said, that my body was just probably holding on to some water. It was definitely holding on to some other things in my intestinal system. And I think once that kind of resolved itself, then I was able to see some weight loss. So as far as how my weeks went, I mean, they were fine. Other than the severe constipation that I experienced, I really didn't have any other side effects. I haven't really had that many side effects. Just in general, I've had some nausea as I've gone through the process, but I generally don't seem to have that anymore. I mean, honestly, I can't even remember the last time I took a Zofran pill. So yeah, I think that's part is pretty much over. But let's talk about goals for a second. Now, this TikTok that I saw, which was very interesting, was a young woman. I apologize, I don't even know the name of the creator, but she was talking about a secret goal. And, do you have a secret goal? And when I thought about it, I thought, I do, actually. And the idea is basically that, like, you have a number in your head of, okay, this is the number that I want to get down to. And I think, and I sort of had that from the beginning too, right? I've had many goals through this. My initial goal when I started, like literally on the day that I started, my goal was to get to 150 pounds. So I don't think I said this, but so I started at 183.8. That's where I started. I'm 57 years old, just FYI, postmenopausal. So anyway, and I set that goal because I'm postmenopausal, I'm 57 years old, and honestly, I just didn't know if this would work for me, and if it worked for me, which clearly it did, whether I would even be able to get down past 150 pounds. I just, my body has changed being postmenopausal, and I just didn't know if my body would do that. Because again, if you're new, I've spent many years, like 13, 14 years, around the 143-ish mark. So when I got to 150, I was like, oh, okay, this is going well. Let's shift my goal down to, technically 143.8, because that was going to be a 40-pound loss. And then honestly, when I got there, I thought, you know what? I think I want to keep losing, while I was happy at that 143.8 number, and that's sort of where I felt like I technically hit goal. I wanted to lose some more. And now, like I said, I'm thinking about 135. But I feel like I kind of have two secret goals. One would be 133.8, because that would be 50 pounds. And I don't know, guys, I mean, it just sounds better to say you lost 50 pounds, right? Than saying, oh, you lost 48 pounds or 48.2 pounds or whatever it is. I realize that this is a me thing, maybe, although I've definitely seen other creators on YouTube talk about kind of a round number. But that's kind of, I think, why that's sort of a secret goal, is maybe 133.8. But I'm going to tell you my really, really secret goal. And that is 125. Because I don't think I have ever weighed 125 pounds. Now, obviously, I realize at some point in my life, I weighed 125 pounds. When I started my very first diet, when I was 13 years old, and I remember it vividly, I stepped on the scale and I weighed 133. Now, once again, I will go back and I will say, like most of us do, that when we see pictures of ourselves, in the past at a certain weight, and we think, oh my God, why in the world did I think I was fat then? Now, granted, I was probably a couple inches maybe shorter at that time. I don't think I had grown fully, but, whatever it is. So, yes, I lost some weight during that first diet, and I got down pretty low, actually. I feel like I got down to like 108, and I was really, really thin. I mean, kind of scary thin. So I would never want to do that. But I guess what I'm saying is I don't think that I have ever maintained a weight in the 120s before. In fact, I know I haven't, because once I did that diet and then basically gained that weight back, and then just pretty much went up from there. I think in high school I was in 140s, 150s, maybe up to 160s. In college, I got up into the 180s, 190s. I don't know if I ever hit 200 in college. And then after I got married and had a couple kids, I was, I got all the way up to like 227 pounds at one point. And then that's when I lost a lot of weight and then maintained that kind of 143 pound mark. So I'm being vulnerable with you guys. I'm sharing. I had never thought about that you have sort of these goals that you put out into the universe, but then in the back of your mind, you have these, wow, it would be kind of cool to be that weight. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm not saying that I am going to keep losing till I get to 125 pounds. I'm not saying that, but I could certainly see myself going for the 133.8, like I said, just because it's a round number and it would be 50 pounds. So anyway, again, I'm trying to be honest with you guys, and I'm sure I may get some negative feedback about that. Although the last time I said that, you guys were actually very, very supportive, and please, I welcome your comments. Keep them respectful, obviously. But the last time I was concerned that people might give me a hard time, everybody was really, really supportive and was like, you do you, and if that's where you are going to be happy and comfortable, then that's what you want to do. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. Let me know in the comments below, do you have a secret goal weight? And you don't need to tell me what it is, but I'm just curious, because like I said, I had never really thought about it until I saw that TikTok, and it really hit home, because I thought, you know what? I do have a secret goal. So let me know in the comments below if you have a secret goal. So that is it. That is my week, 21 and 22 update. I will be taking 5 milligrams again today. So once I get around to taking my shot, probably later tonight. And yeah, like I said, I felt really good on it. So we'll see how this next week goes. Let me know in the comments below how your weeks are going, in addition to whether or not you've had a secret goal or not. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up. Again, if you are looking for a telehealth company, I just want to say one more time, use code Lisa, because today and tomorrow will be the last, when you see this video, it is the last 2 days to save 50% or $50 on your first month with Fridays. So come join me there, because I think, like I said, that they are absolutely amazing, just truly caring people. But anyway, thanks again for watching. If you like this kind of content, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload videos. I've been a little off, not that I ever had like a real set schedule, but I have been off quite a bit in these last 2 weeks. So if you have the notification bell turned on, then YouTube will give you a message that I've uploaded a video. So if you have not had enough of me yet, there'll be another video over here in the corner that you can click on to keep on watching. And remember, kindness and hate spread the same. The choice is yours. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.